Hello everyone, my name's Ethan. This is my channel Gringo Cappuccino. Really hot day today, at least for me in the mountains. Maybe some of you living in warmer climates, not so hot. My thermometer is saying it's 30 degrees. So usually it's between 20 and maybe 25 here in the mountains during the day, just about all year round. So I can't say that I'm used to the heat. And so I think it might actually be hotter in the sun. But anyway, the price of coffee is good because the harvest has been over for about 2 months now. So it's really the people that held on to some of their coffee are able to benefit from a higher price. So I have about, I think it's 7 big bags, big sacks of coffee to go sell. So I'm going to show you the process here in Colombia. It's quite simple. There's a cooperative, but for me right now, it's a little bit more challenging because I had a young guy helping me with some construction, and so he's just a short-term temporary worker. And then I have my permanent worker. Both are gone today because there's a string of dengue running around the town. This heat, this dry weather has only been around for 4 or 5 days. So before that, there was quite a bit of rain. And so the mosquitoes were out and active, and very few people here use a mosquito net when sleeping, including me. I didn't get dengue. I don't actually see many mosquitoes at my farm. There's a few, of course, but not many. But anyway, I'm here having to move these bags by myself, which normally isn't a problem, but I have hernia in my back that's been flaring up, so I can't throw it on my shoulder so easily. So I'm using the wheelbarrow here. But each of these bags, they're not completely full at the moment. They can be filled a little bit more, but these are each about, I think they will come in at maybe 45, 50 kilos. So 4 pounds, that's somewhere around 100, 120, somewhere in there. So for those of you that throw big bags of concrete and things around, it doesn't seem like much. And usually I wouldn't have much of a problem, but my back's acting up, so it's a little bit of an issue. So it's a little bit harder for me because my storage behind me here on my farm, the best place for me to store my coffee is up on this second floor up here above the coffee harvesting or coffee processing machine. And I have to walk it to my car, which is about 80 meters, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I have yet to fix my path, so it's quite rocky, and pulling this weight in the wheelbarrow over these rocks that are uneven is not the easiest task to stay balanced. It's not desperately heavy, but if it was flat, it would be a lot easier. So anyway, I'll pack these in my car and I'll show you how we're going through the sale. Hey, some of you might be asking, why don't I have a truck? And obviously a truck would be ideal. I would prefer to have a truck to load the coffee. This is about 1/3 of this year's harvest. I don't have a huge farm, so it's pretty good. I really need to take down some of the old coffee, replant some more so I can get a better harvest. But this represents about 1/3. And so that means 3 trips in this Mitsubishi Montero that I have, but it's the 80s version, even though it was made in the 90s. It's an 80s model, so it's carbureted engine, really just tough, can't break it, no electronics, that type of vehicle. So I would like to have a truck. However, here in Colombia, the used market is really, really high. So this is a 1997, and a few years ago I paid about $6,000 for it. And you can imagine, no bells and whistles. So a truck like a Hilux, for example, or maybe a Land Cruiser, which I would ideally like, even an early 80s version is going to run me $10,000, $12,000. So right now, I'm just sticking with this. Eventually, I would like to have a truck. Make farm work easier. Not only the coffee, I'm transporting other fruits like citrus fruits. I just had to pay someone to take them to the market, which was about a third of the value of the fruits themselves. So it would be nice if I could do it myself. There's also products like bananas that I would like to have a truck for. But for the moment, this does work. And this is the type of car most people have. Most people cannot afford a truck here. So I'm quite standard here in this region. It's very normal for me. Actually, I would have to say a lot of people don't have any vehicle whatsoever, so they have to pay for transport. So it all comes down to the economics of the area.
Dígame.
So here I'm just unloading it, so you can see the coffee warehouse here. So they're over here on this big industrial scale. They're going to weigh how much coffee I have. But then over here, you can see they have an industrial level, and I'm at the cooperative here, but there are probably 4 or 5 more warehouses like this that are private. So what they'll do is they'll grade it, and then they'll put it into various grades, and this will be bulk coffee. So this will be like end up being like your Nestle coffee or the general standard coffee at the supermarket. This is my full load of coffee. You can see up on the scale there, comes out to 310 kilos. So what he's going to do is he's going to grade it now, give me a price.
Acá la muestra.
Sí. So you can see this is why they use these type of sacks here. So he can stick this pole in there, and then it'll just come right back. It'll bend right back and hold the coffee. Otherwise, if you're using like this plastic type here, that hole will be permanent and it'll leak coffee through the transport. So here he's weighing the coffee. So, and then he's going to get a standard amount, easy to calculate. And then he's going to calculate the dryness. So first, before he's going to calculate the amount of humidity in the beans, he's going to send them through this process, and that's going to strip down to the bare beans, because right now they have the papery surface on it. So this machine here, you can see the papery outside of the bean comes out. So this lever arm is just a weight to give it a standard amount of weight as it cycles through. And what's going to come out is just the raw coffee bean ready to be roasted. You can see they're much darker. So he's going to process them a little bit, reweigh them.
Lo que se pierde ahí la diferencia, vea, merma.
Yeah. So he just said we're looking for the difference in weight. So he's saying it's good.
47 y 250. Una merma muy buena. Porque
Yeah.
lo normal es 18, 20.
Yeah, so he said it's good. It's good quality. So what he's going to do now, he's going to filter it out. So he has a sieve right here.
Secado bonito.
Yeah, he said it's pretty, literally pretty, but just meaning good. So now what he's going to do is he's going to count more or less what quantity of broken and bad beans are in there. And so he's going to give me a grade. So he's going to take out basically the bad beans, and then he's going to weigh it again and see what percentage of my total coffee sacks are good and what it will process down to, and that will indicate my price as well as the grade of the coffee. So it looks pretty good right now. You can see the percentage is quite low of broken or misshaped beans. Zoom in. You can see some of them are a little bit retarded in their growth. Some of them are broken. Some of them are misshapen. But this is a pretty small percentage as of the whole.
Muy bien seco.
So I said it's very dry, or it's well dried is more accurate. It's one of the advantages for me selling the coffee at this time. The coffee has had enough time in my storage area to equalize with the air humidity, which is about what we want it at. If we have it in the sun too long, it'll get too dry and I'll be losing out a percentage of value. But of course, if it's too wet, they won't like that either. They'll reduce my quality, what I'm graded at. So here you go. You see he's going to weigh it again.
Le bonifica 2,000, vean.
So he's saying it's
190 le quedaría 193. Póngale 195, le bonifico 4,000 pesos.
So el valor es
a la base que tengo en el día.
Sí,
está
pero
por debajo de la tolerancia. El factor 94 es la base.
Sí, y este es 93.
O sea que
sí.
está por debajo, o sea que bonifica.
Yeah. So he said 94 is the standard, and I'm at 93, so that's pretty good. So he's going to calculate the value now, take the total weight, just the office here, and he's going to cut me a check. So I'm in front of the bank, middle of town. So I'll give you a quick breakdown of the value of that coffee. I have some little schoolgirls laughing at me for speaking English. Hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Good. So I get that I'm a minor celebrity, especially when I speak English here. But anyway, it doesn't really make sense to communicate the price in pesos, Colombian pesos, because it doesn't really translate because of purchasing power and things like that, depending on exchange rates. But my worker, who is a minimum wage worker, and so I do pay for insurance and everything for him. So the value of all that coffee amounts to a little over 2 months of his salary. So that gives you an idea what I need to do. I need to expand quite a bit, improve my production to just break even. So this was about a third harvest, so I have about half of the year represented in payments for him, for the work on the farm. And so I am about 8 months, including my other products such as oranges and bananas. I'm about 8 or 10 months of the year covered of his salary. So I'm still losing money on having a worker over the course of the year, but I'm getting close as the farm is getting more productive. It was a little bit abandoned when I got it, so we're moving it up and moving it forward. Hopefully things like the sale of my cow that I'm raising now, that's another month. And then some of the other products, I'm expanding to pigs as well. Hopefully that'll work things out. So that's the coffee sale process. I hope that was interesting. If you have any questions, let me know.